Hey, what's up, everyone? John Martinez with Midwest Revenue Group here, and I wanted to do this quick video because something was on my mind. It's Sunday today. My kids were home watching YouTube, and they watch stuff about space and dinosaurs and all this kind of stuff, and they got onto some videos about NASA, right? And they started to talk about how long it takes a space shuttle to launch. What's the turnaround time? What does it take to really prepare a shuttle for launch? And the quickest it's ever been done was like 54 days. And I believe that was in 1985, one of the Challenger shuttles, one of the older shuttles. Now today, the newer shuttles, the fastest they launch is somewhere around 90 days. It's usually well over 100 days. And that's because there's just this massive checklist of stuff to do to prepare the shuttle, because it's high stakes, right? Human life, money, all that kind of stuff, time, preparation. So if they make a mistake, what happens? You can literally have a massive disaster. So in order to avoid disaster, NASA spends a crazy amount of time on the front end of their launch, checking and rechecking and testing everything. And this is actually exactly how you should be selling to avoid disaster. And I'll explain what I mean. We coach a lot of sales teams across the country. And I think to date, we've coached in about 50 industries. And as we get into the coaching, we always get these questions like, hey, John, here's a situation I'm in. This deal isn't closing, or these people have gone dark on me, or this is taking longer than usual, or I'm about to lose this sale, or I did lose this sale. What can I do right now? And the way I think of that is there's almost nothing you can do in those situations because it's too late. It's kind of like saying, hey, we launched a space shuttle. It blew up in mid-flight. How can we put the pieces back together and fix it? And the answer is you can't, right? The damage is already done. In order to avoid that, you had to do all the work on the front end. So when it comes to sales, it's the exact same. When you get to the close is like a successful launch, right? The selling is done when you close, right? By the time you get to a close, it's all over with. The selling actually takes place in all of the conversation leading up to the close, leading up to the launch, in other words, right? So whenever salespeople have a problem at the tail end of a sales call or sales cycle, whatever it is, it's always because they didn't check one of the check boxes on the conversation, on the pre-launch checklist leading up to the close. And now you oftentimes can't go back and put the pieces together, right? They launched, they exploded midair, and there's no going back. It's really hard to go back in time and fix that. That's why it's so freaking important you have the right sales process, because whenever that happens, it's because a step was skipped in the sales process, or the wrong sales process was being used, or maybe even all the steps were gone through, but they weren't gone through at a deep enough level, right? Something was missed. That's the reason why sales blow up, right? So most sales trainers and most sales philosophies concentrate heavy on the back end of the closing, but that's completely wrong. It's too late by the time you get there. You've already missed something that caused the sale to blow up on the tail end. So that brings me to, what does a successful sales process look like? And it's actually super simple. It doesn't take 90 or 100 days like it does to launch a shuttle. It's actually a checklist with just a handful of things to do. So the first thing you need to do is set the stage for open and honest communication. And the reason you need to do that is because in order to sell successfully, you're going to have the right conversation. And in order to have the right conversation, you are going to need to, you're going to have some openness, right? And when people talk to salespeople, usually the guard's up, their walls are up, right? They're afraid of stuff. They're afraid of being taken advantage of, or not getting the best deal, or being pushed into something they want to do, or making some type of bad decision, right? So we got to get those walls down. So open, honest communication, you got to set the stage for that. Now that's to do with rapport and setting expectations and a few other things we cover in our training. Now, after you do that, what you have to do is go into motivation. I don't care what kind of sale it is. You have to talk motivation. Why would they take action? Why would they change what they're doing right now? And motivation has to be personal, right? Not from a business perspective. It has to tug on something personal. Because think about it. In your own life, do you ever make a change unless there's, if there's no personal reason to, right? If there's no impact of something to you personally or in some way, right? How you spend your time, impact a family member in some way, what you think about, stress about, do, spend your time on, money on, whatever. If there's no personal impact, think about it. Have you ever changed anything you've ever done? And if you think deep enough about it, the answer is no. So we got to find motivation. Motivation always has to tie to personal impact. Now that's how you turn up an urgency to take action. Now, once you have that, no matter how bad we want to do stuff, no matter how bad we want to change, the reason why people don't change or buy things or complete a sale is because there's stuff that gets in the way, even when motivation's sky high, right? So that's usually something around relationships or risk or discomfort or a fear of some kind, a fear of maybe leaving money on the table, right? Not getting the best deal possible, making some type of mistake. So step one was open, honest communication. Step two, dig deep into motivation, make sure it has personal impact to create an urgency to take action. And step number three is remove all those deal killers, all those things that are going to get in the way. And I listed a few, and there's very simple questions you can ask, actually uncover these and do it. And there's a beauty to actually overcoming those objections. And it has nothing to do with anything you think it does. It actually has to do with step two, the motivation, right? We'll get over any of our own objections if the motivation's high enough, right? Think about anything you haven't done before in the past, right? Why haven't you gone to the doctor or done this or purchased this? Well, motivation wasn't high enough, right? Objections disappear when motivation is high enough. So motivation, remove the deal killers. And then finally, presentation. Presentation is the launch, right? So open, honest communication, turn that motivation all the way up, remove all the deal killers out of the way that are going to stand in the way of your prospect from taking action, and push the launch button, and the close will just happen naturally. So I wanted to share this with you because most people focus on, when a sale is blowing up, what can I do right now? And there is never, ever a good answer for what can I do right now? There's some things you can try, and there's some things that kind of work, but even all of those things, all it does is all those things that do work, they take you back in time as much as they can in order to concentrate on the sales process steps that you skipped. So guys, never again do I want you to try to unravel a sale that has just blown up in your face. What I want you to concentrate on is what in the process, what in the conversation leading up to this blowing up in my face did I miss? Did I not go deep enough on? If you do that, sales will improve over and over and over again. So I hope that helps as you think about your sales process for whatever product or service you sell. I hope that kind of makes you think about sales in a slightly different way. Again, why does NASA do what NASA does? They do it for a reason, because they want to control what happens once you push launch. And I want you to be able to, in any sales situation, control what happens once you get to presentation. So this is John Martinez with Midwest Revenue Group. Hey guys, have a great Sunday. I'll see you around.